We are a few days late on this, but I did want to dive into a conversation about the status of Alberta goaltending. I was on my way back home from a walk to the mall, and I was thinking to myself, the Flames, they have some pretty good stuff going on, especially in net, especially with the guy that I think instills the most confidence that Flames fans have seen in this crease since maybe Jacob Markstrom's Vezina nominated year a few years ago. Dustin Wolf, ladies and gentlemen, is a total stud. He is so good, and he currently needs a contract, at least at the time of recording this audio. He signed on till the end of 2025-2026, and depending on when he inevitably signs, because I think it's probably likely that he does, we might see the makings of either the next best thing in Calgary Flames history or a potential bridge deal. Who really knows? Dustin Wolf is 24 years old, 6 feet, 174, right-handed sticking goaltender, left-handed catching goaltender. There you go. That's the difference there. But Dustin Wolf is coming off of a rookie campaign for the ages. 9-10 save percentage in 53 games played, and a .264 goals against in his first full season in the National Hockey League. Dustin Wolf quickly won the starting crease. He was very, very good. There were conversations about whether or not he could be nominated for the Hart Trophy. Not necessarily because this guy was providing the best goaltending in the league. I mean, if you go over to the NHL and what we had seen in 2024-2025, yeah, it's true, there were some goaltenders who had higher save percentages than Dustin Wolf's 9-10. But the fact is, the Calgary Flames were so close to the playoffs, and a lot of that had to do because of this guy. Had the Flames made the dance, I think Dustin Wolf would have had a much better shot at winning the Rookie of the Year, and he could have even gotten his name into the Hart conversation as the most valuable player to his team in the league. Nevertheless, Dustin Wolf is coming off of a season that I think a lot of Flames fans are super excited to see what's following after. Which is why we head over onto thehockeywriters.com. Because an article from a few days ago written by Jim Parsons goes over Dustin Wolf, and it also goes over some Edmonton Oilers goaltending ideas as well. We're gonna mash them together in this video commentary and make two discussions out of one, and dive into the status of both the Oilers and the Flames goaltending talks. Let's dive into this right here. Article's going to be linked in the description. Calgary Flames goaltender Dustin Wolf recently revealed both his camp and the Flames organization are working on a contract extension. His current deal is set to expire at the end of 25-26, at which time he'll become an RFA. The 24-year-old wants to stay, but it's unclear what kind of deal the two sides are focused on. This is what Wes Gilbertson of the Calgary Herald went out there and published. It's a quote from Dustin Wolf. "They're working. That's about all I can really tell you. There are talks, but nothing really confirmed yet. I'd love to stay here, and I think they want me to stay here as well. So as soon as something comes to fruition where both of us like where we're at, I'm sure it won't be long after that point where pen will be to paper." The source comes from Wes Gilbertson's Q&A with Dustin Wolf on contract talks, Olympic aspirations, and the Rogers Legends of Hockey. So, Calgary Flames fans, it's not really like y'all had anything to worry about, if I'm being honest. But it is good to hear from the man himself that he is very optimistic about things getting done. I mean, nothing from this quote from Dustin Wolf indicates any sort of an inkling of doubt on coming back. So, this upcoming season, where he's going to be the bona fide number one starter, he can just focus on owning his crease as a short goaltender who is really young and who still has a lot more to accomplish in his career. I think a lot of Flames fans are rightfully excited for the future of Dustin Wolf with this team. Now, shifting gears from Calgary goaltending to Edmonton goaltending, let's dive into what Jim Parsons writes about in regards to the latest on the Oilers' goaltending overhaul. Could the Oilers completely overhaul their goaltending mid-season? Alan Mitchell of The Athletic spoke about the goaltending situation in a recent column, and he wrote that the Oilers might completely pivot mid-season if the tandem of Skinner and Pickard struggles. He writes, "The chances of Edmonton deploying these two men exclusively all season, including the playoffs, should be considered a long shot. Fans should expect either a Stanley Cup delivered with Skinner Pickard or a complete overhaul in goal by this time next year, possibly sooner." The source is Alan Mitchell's article on The Athletic, Oilers Complete Reasonable Expectations for the 25-26 season. If Pickard and Skinner struggle, the Oilers front office could be forced into a bold move, either through trade or free agency, to secure a goaltender capable of carrying them to the next level, similar to how the Avalanche revamped their crease in just 11 days, moving Alexander Georgiev and Justus Annunen, bringing in Mackenzie Blackwood and Wedgwood. Now, I wanted to say this as well. Big props over to those folks over in Colorado, because when they decided, hey, we're going to totally change things up. We're going to grab new dudes. Both of our goalies, sorry, y'all gotta go. Sorry, Georgiev. Sorry, Annunen. Peace out. We're going to get Blackwood, Wedgwood. They also have the other Woods on their team, so the Woods per 60 definitely is thriving in Colorado. But it was a really bold move, especially with the fact that these moves for Georgiev and Blackwood and whatnot, they occurred just weeks into the regular season. Colorado noticed their problems in the crease, and they were like, okay, we are not going to waste any time. We're just going to grab these guys. Sorry, we do have the potential to sit and wait for Georgiev to bounce back, but we're not going to do that. And for the Oilers, it seems like that sort of thought process could be creeping into the minds of the folks that run this hockey team. If Stu Skinner and Cal Pickard are below standard, they're below expectations to open up the year, we could be seeing a big move for an Edmonton goaltender sooner rather than later. Now, where exactly does that conversation go? John Gibson was linked to Edmonton for years, and that guy just got traded over to Detroit. Speaking about Detroit, Sebastian Cossa could potentially be an option from the Red Wings, but if you make a trade for him, is he going to be your bona fide number one guy heading into the playoffs? Probably not. There are very limited goaltending options available for the Oilers. Say what you want about Michael DiPietro in Boston. But Stuart Skinner, coming back from a 9-something save percentage in last year's playoffs and regular season over to an 896. Ay, that is bad. It was even worse in the playoffs, 889 save percentage. I know, Oilers fans, I don't want to keep on hammering it home just how bad Stu Skinner was. But even Cal Pickard didn't show off all too well either. He had an 886 save percentage in 10 games. Seriously, if the Oilers just got better than above average goaltending, they probably have at least one cup by now. They might have even had two. Who really knows? So, goaltending is the biggest area of need for the Edmonton Oilers. Skinner and Pickard have not been able to get it done. Jack Campbell was supposed to be that guy. He was definitely not able to get it done. And now we're sitting here in 2025 summer saying, yeah, both of these guys could be on their way out if they show off poorly to open up the year. So with all that in mind, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the status of Alberta goaltending. What are your thoughts on Dustin Wolf and his potential contract extension? What do you think the dollar amount comes into? And what are your thoughts on Skinner and Pickard potentially being replaced if they get off in the season on the wrong foot? Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.